Hi everyone, welcome back to Brain Dump. I'm Kai. Today is the last day of 2023, which is kind of crazy, because I feel like this year just started, but that's okay. Today's episode is going to be about finding peace and doing that by not caring, and how that feels really good. So I want to preface before I actually dive in. Once again, I'm not a medical professional and I'm not a mental health professional. I'm 20 years old. I'm just here to share my personal experience with these topics. So, this is not an educational podcast whatsoever. Recently, I've found out what people from my past have been saying about me, and it feels so fucking good to not care about it. I got dropped by a lot of people simply because nobody wanted to know my side of the story. And for a long time, I cared so deeply about what these people thought of me and what these people were saying about me. Like, I have no idea what they're saying, but I know it's not good. But at this point, I just do not give a shit. When I found out about this, also, okay, I'm not trying to be so vague, but also I'm not going to spill my life info on here. Just the things that were happening that I was made aware about, I would have flipped the fuck out about this, like, a year ago. And even, this information would have absolutely destroyed me 6 months ago. Like, damn, this person that I cared about so much has such a great deal of hatred for me. And I think back to when I held on to that hatred for this same person, and it feels so fucking good to not hate them anymore. All I have is love for that person, and I hope that they heal because they're hurt. And they're obviously hurt with the shit that they're saying about me. And the things that were being said about me and are still getting said about me are very hurtful. But I'm choosing not to care because I have no more energy to care. I've spent too much fucking time caring. This is such a freeing feeling because, as I've said before, I have an addictive personality, so there are some things in my brain that is really difficult to get rid of. And as I've emphasized multiple times on this podcast, I am a huge overthinker, and it feels so good not to overthink about this anymore. But since so many people have had opinions about me lately, my biggest fans, they listen to my podcast and they watch my YouTube videos, like my biggest fans, I really appreciate you. I've come to a point where I know that I can't change people's minds. If these people have a perception of me and what they think of me, that's settled in their brain. There's nothing I can say to change their mind. And if these people actually cared about me, they would ask. They would ask. And this all goes back to my episode about letting things go. There are just some things that you have to let go of, even if it seems impossible, because I thought this was going to be impossible because I cared about these people so fucking much, and I've had to learn to not care about them anymore, which was really hard. Focusing on what other people think will make you so mentally drained, and in all actuality, it doesn't matter. I feel like when I say I don't care, it sounds like nothing has purpose, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I've just found this sense of peace when I take away that component in my life of constantly worrying about what other people are saying about me. I'm just unbothered at this point. Like, who gives a flying fuck? We're on a floating rock in space. Get over yourself. Like, if you think about it, everyone's fucked up. At some point or another in your life, you have fucked up. And that's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we grow and become better people. It sucks to fuck up. And it also sucks to admit when you're wrong, but it feels so good to realize that you're imperfect and you're going to make those mistakes. And some people are only going to think of you as your mistakes. And guess what? There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. I spent so much time trying to change people's mind about me, and it's like there's nothing I can do. People are going to continue to hate me and throw shit at my car and spit at me. Like, I don't deserve this. If people don't care to hear what I have to say, okay, we move on. Not caring isn't necessarily about apathy, but it's a conscious choice to release those burdens. I feel like at one point I had this transactional mindset, and I'd seriously play these power games in my mind. I would place this burden on my partners when I thought I needed them to fill that hole in my life, which wasn't fair at all. No one's going to fill a hole in your life. You have to be whole before you let anyone else in. At least from my personal experience, when I wasn't whole, I was just throwing all of my energy left and right. And I feel like for the majority of my life, I've spent so much time over caring about every little thing, and it's exhausting. I'm going to care about the things and the people that are good for me and the people that care about me, because there's been a lot of people that just don't fucking care about me, and I've spent so much time and energy just trying to win their love and attention, and it's not worth it. While I've been doing research on this topic for this episode, I've found that a common thing that happens when you stop caring is people start to hate you. And that's a trend. Not giving a response or a reaction is what drives the hate in other people, which sucks, because it's like, why do you have so much hate in your heart? But it feels so good not to feel the pressure to give them that response or that reaction. Another thing I've noticed since I've stopped caring is I listen more. I feel like I get a lot of insight out of conversation with other people now because I'm present and I'm not constantly worrying about what these people are thinking in their head of me. Like, is there something in my teeth? Do I have an eye booger? Do I have a real booger? I was constantly thinking about these things during a conversation. It was so difficult to keep up. I really do feel like I'm becoming a better listener, which feels good because I've been told in the past that I'm not a good listener and I'm selfish, and I'm trying to not be those things, and I think that I've improved. Nothing matters more than you and your own peace. That should be your priority in your life. Because if you don't have peace with yourself, you're not gonna have peace with anything else. And that just makes your life really fucking tiring. There's a fine line between acceptance, I don't care, and who cares. Think about some of the people in your life and what category they fall into. Accept without resentment. Don't care because it's not in your power to change what that person or even the outside world does at all. And who cares? Literally, who cares? Like I said in my episode about fucking life being too short, it's too short. It doesn't matter what you do. In 100 years, we will all be dead. I'm just saying. In 100 years, everyone you know and love will be dead. And I'm not trying to be dark. It's just like, we're not going to live that long unless there's some sort of miracle. But, like, we're going to be dead. And none of this will have mattered. So I'm done, just constantly worrying about shit that's happened. Because it's not worth it. And it feels so good to believe that, because I feel like for a long time I was like, oh, overthinking is just not worth it, just don't do it, but I would still do it anyway because it's just how my brain worked. But now it's just, I know it's not good for me, so I don't do it, and it feels so good. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that topic. Okay. So, book of the week is Where the Crawdads Sing. I think I'm like 60 pages in. It's really good. So I didn't have an episode last week because it was Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. So I read The Midnight Library. I thought it was so good, and I would recommend. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It kept me drawn in the whole time, which not a lot of books can do. So I really enjoyed it. Let's get into the songs of the week. All right. Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza by Mac Miller, Liz by Remy Wolf, For Emma by Bon Iver, Sappho by Frankie Cosmos, and Smoke Slow by Joshua Bassett. I don't know why I added this to my notes for the podcast, but Pablo ate the Wi-Fi again. I don't know if I feel like I recorded an episode last time Pablo ate the Wi-Fi. I don't know, but this is the second time that Pablo has dug up the Wi-Fi in our backyard, and suddenly the Wi-Fi's out. Luckily, we got it fixed, but still, it's like, this is the second time that Pablo has eaten the Wi-Fi. So, I hope you guys have a great and safe New Year. Don't drink and drive. Be responsible. And have so much fun. Like, have a freaking blast. Go out and party, but be safe and responsible. So, yeah, who gives a shit, Find your peace. None of it's gonna matter in 100 years. So, bye!